Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me this morning. First off, if you like what I say, thumbs up. If you think the video is important, share it with somebody else. Yes, I've got the SPY up, and we're going to talk about what happened right at the end of the day because volume at the end of the day, right in this area, was pretty damn strong, yet we are opening right at this level. Oh, I guess we're spiking up a little. So let me talk about things. What I said yesterday is, hey, man, I actually expect yesterday to be green. Now I was half right and half wrong because Nasdaq and tech were green yesterday, and the Dow was still red yesterday. So it's crazy because I understand the bearish sentiment on the market. Let me just close this door real quick so I don't have any intruders. All right, perfect. So I understand the bearish sentiment on the market. Now here's the catch. The catch is I'm looking at the chart, I'm seeing the volume, and I actually think we can go higher today. Now, here's why I think we're going to trade in between a certain level. When you look at the largest levels of the dark pool, the largest levels of the dark pool for the SPY, you're looking at 395.57. Well, we didn't touch that yesterday. That would be a new low if we hit that level. But that has $24 billion worth of SPY. Then you go up to the next level, 397.77. Well, shit, we kind of bottomed. We saw support at 398 when we dropped under 398. We back to 398. When we extended north of 398, we always came back to 398. I did say we were going to close somewhere around, if you're on my Discord, 399.24. Yeah, I was off by 30 cents, but we hit that 399.24 a few minutes before closing. Next level up, let's say the SPY goes north and the markets actually open up and we go a little more north. You're looking at a major level of 20 billion at 399.97. So just under 400 on the SPY. Understand, if we break that psychological number of 400, we're going to go all the way to like 404, 406. So if we break 400, just for all you bulls out there, we break 400, we're going to 406. Now, here are reasons to be bullish and here are reasons to be bearish. I'm going to tell you the latest top stories that tell me something. First of all, Jim Cramer likes to F me. Why? Because he was like, oh, Salesforce growth. Good job, Mark. Mark, the CEO of Salesforce. What did I do yesterday? I bought 2 Salesforce calls. I didn't know Jim Cramer was going to talk about his charitable trust and how they're big supporters of Salesforce. I mean, he's given it to me right in the behind right now. Not happy about that. I did speak about the dark pool lows. Okay, here we go. 42% of buy now, pay later users have made late payments. So that's Affirm. That's Upstart. That's the other services that offer that. Now, what did I tell you? 42% are paying late. Imagine those that aren't paying at all, okay? Add another 24%. So now you're at like 72%. Talking about defaults, I think I have some default information coming in. Let me just see if I saved it. I might not have. Nope. You know what I've got, though? I've got a list of important things. So here we go. Corporate tax rates, Biden's new proposal. Increase corporate taxes 21 to 28%. Taxes on individual couples making over 400 grand, 40%. Double the capital gains tax from 20 to 40%. 25% tax on net worth above $100 million. Thank goodness I don't have to worry about that. And it's on the net worth. It's not on your income. It's on your net worth. So that this bill will never pass the Senate. Yes, Republicans will stand against it. Democrats will stand for it, but there should be some Democrats on the side that have to get the support from the people that are giving them money to run their campaigns, which are high net worth individuals. Okay, next, we've got the Fed's decision next week on CPI, PPI. That's going to drive the interest rate. So what have I been focused on? What have I told you to focus on the past couple of days? The US dollar, right? DXY. So the US dollar, which is 105.70, right, is now back at 105.45. And if you look at the 1-day chart on the US dollar and even the 5-day chart, it does look like it's coming down. Now, if it comes down, it gives the markets a reason to be bullish. Now, let's understand. Fed was talking about 25 basis points, and that was factored into the market. 50 basis points, let's go back like a week and a half, was only at 16% chance of happening. 16% chance we're going to go up 50 basis points. Then a couple days later, we went up to 25%, 49%, 70%, 75%. It has since come down to about 69%. But understand, 69% is a lot stronger than 16%. So the downward pressure you've seen on the market has been pretty strong. Now, there's still a ton of buying. We saw that 2 days ago, sell-off. China came back. Their CPI came in at 1%. The estimate was 1.9. Okay, so China's doing a good job. Their CPI is at 1%. Now, I don't believe China, but again, CPI at 1% is pretty damn low. What else? Okay, interesting. Related to China, you guys always look for a trade from me, right? And I'm going to talk about my trades over the past couple of days on what I could have done better. But I've been on fire calling out great trades, and I'm going to share that with you in a second. PDD block trade expires April 6th, strike price 102, 4,000 call contracts at 321. This was purchased at 3 p.m. yesterday, 3:43 p.m. So 15 minutes before the market closed. So I'm going to give a look at PDD today. It was purchased when PDD was at 92.60. So again, if I can get better entry, I can enter into the same call position. Again, calls 102 expiration April 6th. Okay, that's easy as pie. They paid $3.21. They bought 4,000 calls at a premium of $1.284 million. Shit, I'm not going to invest that much, but I could definitely take a look at that trade. It looks like a pretty nice quant data trade. I spoke about the Biden proposal. Okay, NVIDIA blocked. So we had some back and forth on our platform yesterday. NVIDIA popped up to 239 and change. Somebody said, I expect NVIDIA to go down. It's one of the most bearish stocks out there as far as sentiment goes. However, I mentioned yesterday morning on YouTube that the chip sector is still strong. So I thought NVIDIA could actually push 244 before it finds a rejection. Now here's the catch. At 355 yesterday when NVIDIA was 241.69, 1,600 calls were purchased at $3.20 for a premium. They paid the ask, $512,000, expiring the end of March the 31st. Strike price, 270. 270. Wait, NVIDIA is not 270. NVIDIA is at 230, 9 this morning. It's got to be down pre-market. Oh, NVIDIA's flat pre-market. Holy shit, would you look at that? It just spiked. So when I tell you that something should find support, again, doesn't make sense. I understand NVIDIA's PE or forward PE is ridiculously high, and it doesn't make sense. But the chip sector still has support. And I tell you, there are certain funds that have to do rotations. So they're buying into certain things. When the chip sector runs out of gas, they'll switch into energy. They'll switch into healthcare. They'll switch into banking. But when I'm looking at NVIDIA, what is it telling me? It's not telling me it's a pump and dump. NVIDIA is back at 241. I just mentioned it was 239. 239, it's a steal because I'm getting in $2 cheaper in the same freaking position. And $2 is a lot of money, especially if you're going out 2 weeks like that. US dollar 105.44. So I mentioned that. Okay, yeah, one of my trades. DraftKings, okay? DraftKings, I mentioned yesterday on Discord, DraftKings was $19.10. I expected DraftKings to be $19.77, $19.80. So $19.10, take my first position. It goes down to 1908, 1906. Take my second position. Boy, what a dummy I am, because 10 minutes later, it was under 19. What happened? It spiked up to 1924. I think it closed at 1959. Let's just see. Pre-market, it is down. So it's 1958, and it's down 0.4%. So it's 1950. But if I'm in at 1910, let's just say 1906, it goes down below 19. You're following me on Discord. You get in at 19. It's at $19.50 pre-market. Still a hell of a return. I think I was up 78%. What else was I playing? Remember, I was in Snapchat puts, and I said I'm looking for Snapchat to go down. I wish I held another day because I got into those Snapchat puts. They went as low as $20. Then I sold them for what, $32? They went for over $1 yesterday, $1.01. My exit strategy, $1. I had 29 contracts. So whereas I made $37 on the trade, I would have made 29, that's the next extra 70, that's 30, 70, an extra $2,100 on the trade if I had held 3 more hours. And I've been doing that a lot when I was in meta calls last week. And I'm talking about different stocks because it's a stock picker's market right now. It's not an all market's going up, all market is dropping. It's a stock picker's market, and that's why I'm going to focus on certain stocks. And I'll mention Meta, since I'm going to mention my trade from last week. I'll mention Meta actually has support. It turned green yesterday. It was down pre-market. I believe it turned green. So yeah, Meta is going to have support. Why? Because institutions, large funds that are bullish on the market and have to remain bullish on the market, they can't short sell anything. They're going to be buying stocks like Meta. Okay, so Meta, my first trade, it was on Thursday. I opened up a new account. My first trade, I was in 3 Meta calls. I think there were 172.50. I sold when Meta hit 178 the next day. 178, I thought I was a hero getting $6 for my $3 calls. Meanwhile, they went up to $13. I left more money on the table than I actually sold the calls for. I left $700 per contract on the table. I sold my contracts for $600. I left more than the contracts were worth on the table. So that's Snap, that's Meta, that's DraftKings, right? Because I'm in DraftKings. I was in SPY puts. I exited out of my SPY puts when the SPY was what? $399.56. What happened that day? It dropped down to the 397 level, which I mentioned pre-market. So again, I have to tell myself to hold these trades a little longer. Those Boyle calls, remember Boyle? I was in Boyle for 488 all the way to $7, and I'm like, I'm a champion out at $7. The next day, it spiked to $8. It went up another 15%. And again, I was in $6 calls. So I was $1 in the profit, $2 in profit. I left over 100% on the table. So please, Matt and everybody, give yourself enough time to be correct. Buy out with enough time. Dollar just went down another 10 cents, which should be strength for the market. Salesforce just turned green. Hopefully I get the spike to 188. That's what I'd be looking to exit. So I'm in 2 contracts for Salesforce, $180 calls. Bought in yesterday, paid too much, paid $4. They went as low as like 3 something. Salesforce was off this morning, so could have opened at like $1.60 per contract, and I would be screwed. Jim Cramer says he likes the stock, which is always a detriment when it comes to Salesforce. Okay, so other stocks on my watch list: Silvergate, SI. Why? They're going out of business. They were down as much as 50% pre-market. They're only down 37%. They're at the $3 range. I would stay the hell away from it. When it was $7, I said I would stay the hell away. There are so many shorts in Silvergate. I think over 70% of the shares are shorted, okay? So understand, massive pressure. I mentioned the other day there were $5 puts. When somebody said, hey, what would you do? Get involved? I said, no, but there are a ton of $5 puts. But the stock was trading at like $6, $5.91 to $6.60. I didn't think it would go below 5. Yesterday, tough market day, dropped 5%, $4.91. This morning, off 36%. As low as $3.10. So yeah, those $5 puts, which they paid almost nothing for, are going to be super, super profitable. Again, stock pickers market. Again, DraftKings I've got here, Salesforce. I know Jim Cramer's going to screw me, man. It just dropped significantly. I don't know, off any action. The SPY is up now 15.15% pre-market. It is spiking 399.55. So what did I come on and tell you? Dark pool level. 399.77. If we break the $400 level, then yeah, I'm again bullish 406 on the day. So there's your bull case scenario for the SPY. We break 400, we hold it. And when I say break, you got to break it by like 30, 40 cents. So you see $400.40, then yeah, I think we could potentially be going up to 404 today, maybe 405. Again, what the Fed said is already baked into the market. We've seen 2 days of vicious selling, but as someone's selling and something's going down, somebody's on the other side buying. So don't think they're just selling into the black hole. No, there are buyers out there, supporters of the market. So that's what I'm looking at right there. Again, 399.31. So we'll see what plays out, because again, the next level is 399 like 77. So I'm really focusing on the $400 level, because that's going to be key. Nvidia, I just mentioned, we saw the Nvidia spike pre-market again. Tons of calls being bought out to the end of the month. Okay, so speaking out puts versus calls, if you look at the sum of all the puts and all the calls on the market, on the SPY, expiring today. So today's expiration is mostly heavily weighted to puts. This weekly expiration, heavily weighted to puts. The monthly, heavily weighted to puts. If you look at the, let me just see if I can pull up an image. I take this from Tradie Ticks, I believe. Let me just see if I can find it. Hopefully I took a picture of it. Okay. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, here's your flow map, right? Your flow map. So what do you see on your flow map? The one over here, that's your monthly, okay? The middle's the weekly, and the one closest to my other fat finger right here, that's the daily. But as you can see, it's all red. So does that mean the market's going down? Well, it means one of 2 things. The options players think the market is going down and are heavily levered to the market and going down. The institutions, the big money, the hedge funds, the ones selling you those options, they're collecting your premium. So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to look to pump the market. They're going to look to support the market. Why? To make your options worthless. Let's understand, I think the numbers like above 90% of options actually expire worthless. So options are a tool that were created to hedge investments. The fact that we trade options to use them as a profit mobile is a different story. That makes us we have to be more patient. Okay, so that was one of the pictures I wanted to show you guys today. Let me just see what else we got. I spoke about the SPY already. All right, yeah. AMD calls. We spoke about NVIDIA. AMD calls came across the wire end of day, right? The $95 calls expiring in May. $2 million premium. They bought over 5,000 contracts. And again, that was in the last few minutes of the day yesterday. So what would that tell me? Bullish AMD. I already mentioned bullish NVIDIA. If I'm bullish the chip sector, then I could also look at STX, Micron. I mentioned PDD, block trade. I mentioned China's CPI down. So if I had to be, I hate trusting China, but I would be bullish China right now. So if I'm bullish China, I've got to even be bullish our markets and think that we're going to break higher. I mentioned DraftKings. I mentioned the SPY. Really seeing support. Okay, so the SPY is holding. Yeah, I mean, it's still holding the support levels. Support level on the SPY downside. Let's say we drop to start the day, right? 396.50. Even though we held 398 plus or minus 20 cents yesterday. So what would I look to happen? Probably a quick drop. We're at 399.08. Maybe a quick drop at open to 398.30. Okay. And from there, I think we're going to bump up. And again, I mentioned yesterday that I just had the strangest feeling we're going to hit $400 yesterday, $400 and like 81 cents. So I still have that same inkling. I told Carlos yesterday morning, hey, I think the market's going to be green. And this is the day before when the markets, threw up on themselves. So again, that's just my feeling. Let me just decline next. I don't know what that is. All right, let's get away from the calls. Let's get to some questions here. Here we go. Good morning. Again, so my perspective or my opinion is only my opinion. It doesn't mean it's law. In fact, my calling the markets direction has been on fire. I said, hey, we're going to reject here. We're going to come back in here. We're going to reject here. I'm picking certain stocks and my timing is just off. Yesterday, I struggled. I could have been up $600 from doing nothing. Quick lesson, okay? Quick lesson. If I'd done absolutely zero trading yesterday, zero trading, hadn't touched anything, and again, my mind's always working, I would have made $600 more, right? Yesterday, I struggled. I was slightly red by like $45. I grabbed terrible exits and terrible entries. Good strategy. Good strategy always helps. But okay, what else do we got here? Hey, going to need Matt's advice because I'm sitting on Apple Coin and NVIDIA puts. I probably paper handed them probably to anyway. Okay, because you don't trust this market. With that said, so shit, man, I don't know. I don't want to tell you the market's going higher today and have you sell your puts. I mean, we saw what's going on with crypto, so hopefully you have a chance for your coin puts to be. Let's just see where coin is right now. Again, I'm focused on the US dollar, and I do think the market, here's what's going to happen. If the market's going to be bullish today, you're going to get a drop at open, so you'll get a chance to get out of those options. Now, if we get a drop, you could say maybe we'll get a double dip. Now, that's you taking on the extra risk. I'm looking at coin, and I was going to actually mention, it's crazy because I thought coin should have dropped 4, 5, 6, 7% 2 days ago and yesterday combined. Coin was actually up yesterday. There was inflow yesterday. There's been inflow 4 out of the last 7 days. So coin has support. So I'm actually thinking coin could break out. I already mentioned NVIDIA. I thought could go to 244 before contracting. Apple, again, it's leading the pack. Price target increase, 188, 190. Apple's at what? 140 something, 145. Let's just see, 147. Where's Apple at? Apple 152. Holy shit! It actually went up yesterday. Again, strong inflow. So I mean, if I'm going to be a bear, and here's my suggestion to you, Josh. If I'm going to be a bear on some technology stocks, I'm going to look for technology stocks that have no earnings. I'm going to look at like Upstart or Affirm. Okay, as far as them, buy now, pay later. What else would I look at? Technology stocks without earnings. I might look at let me just go down, a TDoc, right? Teladoc company without earnings. I would have, again, you're not going to see major moves. It was off 0.59%. It's off 0.3 something percent. You're not looking for like a 6 or 7% drop. If you're looking for something like that, what else? You might have to play China. If you don't believe in China, we see Alibaba, Baidu, they'll drop 5%, then they'll drop another 2%. That's, again, if you wanted to be short something, or you're looking for something that popped like CAI or AI when it popped all the way to $28. Then you could be short once you see rejection. It went to 28. I said 28 was a fair number. It popped to 30, and now it's back down to $24.84. So you have to look at companies like that. I'm just looking at Google. I mean, Google's had inflow 6 out of 7 trading days. So that tells me the Qs, the NASDAQ, likely to be strong. I mean, volume's still light, but the Google chart looks pretty fucking safe right now. So if I was going to play something, I might be in Google. What do we got here? Hey, Josh, I hear you. I'm swinging Boyle calls. Yeah, good average, man. You gave yourself March 17th, so you give yourself enough time to be correct. Right, because today is what? March, what are we at? March 9th. So tomorrow's expiration is March 10th, so you're not running out this week. You buy out an extra week. You got in pretty cheap at 23 cents. You want to exit out at 30. So if you exit out at 30, you're looking at what? A 28% gain. It's a great strategy. All right, let's go down and see what other questions we have. Jobs report came good. Going to be a green day, I bet. Possibly. I don't, jobs, if they're in line with expectations, plus 10%, minus 10%, then it's relatively indifferent to me. What came out, what was it, 3 Fridays ago, when jobs were estimated at 182,000, they came out at 518,000. Yeah, that will move the market. Powell speaking again. I don't think so. I thought Powell was doing 2 days in Congress. I don't necessarily know if he's speaking again. We have other Fed speakers coming out. Opinion on Tesla. Okay, that was a great example. So he mentioned, Josh mentioned he was short or had puts on Apple, NVIDIA. Now you could be the other way around, or you could have been the other way around. Let's look at Tesla real quick. Let me just bring it up here. Down 1% pre-market. But the thing about Tesla is, so I saw that it broke down to its lows, 3 straight days of outputs, 5 out of the last 7 days. Yeah, I mean, Tesla's going to find a baseline somewhere. It dropped 5 points yesterday. If I was going to play, say, the same history, I would look for Tesla maybe to bottom out at 177 for today. Again, another 5 points, another 4 points, maybe 178. It's close to 180 pre-market. So you want to see what Tesla could drop to. If I'm going to be bearish Tesla, I'm not going to get on the bandwagon now. Shit, I've already missed that. I want to be in on the first day. Then I want to look at the second day and make sure it has outflowed the second day, so I've got a confirmation. Then you could hold Tesla puts as long as you want. But when Tesla goes down 3 straight days from 198 sitting at 180 pre-market, shit, that's already 18 points. That's already 10%. So I wouldn't look to get onto Tesla puts. I'm not saying, Michael Jackson, that you're going to get on Tesla puts, but I'm saying you want to trade Tesla. If you're making a swing trade on Tesla, you'll see it move 6.5 points yesterday from 186.50 to the low of 180. So the fact that it's sitting just under 180 this morning, again, when you find the bottom for the day, you could say, okay, Tesla's bottom, it can move 6 points higher. When you find the top and you see it reject, you're like, okay, it can move 6 points lower. Okay, hey, good morning. Do I think Rivian will keep going up? I think there are people playing Rivian on both sides. So we saw the support hold at $15. And then we saw a breakthrough. We went to $14.96. Again, the market was having trouble yesterday, and Rivian popped to over $15. Again, my original exit strategy on Rivian was going to be $15.18. I don't know if we saw that yesterday, but again, I sold Rivian too soon. I knew they were going to be buying. I said if yesterday's an inflow day, shit's going up. $15.13 went as high as $15.23. Here's what I would do on Rivian. To tell you the truth, my secret, I would look at around 9:55 to 10 a.m. and I would look to see if Rivian has inflow today or outflow. If it has inflow, then I would say, okay, it could definitely go 4 or 5% higher. If it's having outflow, you could think the same. We saw the support break through the $15 level. So really the next support is where we closed at 2 days ago, 1464. So I'd be extremely cautious with Rivian. All right, Gene, can I look at the Qs? Okay, I looked at the Qs the other day. I mentioned possible bull run to 399. The next day I said possible bull run to 304, and that was the high the following day. So Qs and I, inflow, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of inflow, outflow, inflow, outflow. They usually run together. If today's an inflow day, we're going to see a 5-day move. We're going to bank up to just under $301. So yeah, if today was going to be bullish, I think maybe possibly you get a 1.18% move to the higher side. If it's going to turn bearish, you've seen support right at 295. So again, if I'm going to get into calls, I'm looking for a drop to 295. I want to get in at the base. Where do I think it can go? I think it can run up to 301. If I get in no man's land where it is right now, 298, then shit, I could buy at 298. It could drop to 295. I could be down a shitload of money, exit out as a loser, and then it could bounce up back to the 298, calling myself break even, or even that 301. The same thing. If it pops on market open and you're closer to 301, you're 298 and 50, something like that, your upside is very limited according to the chart I'm looking at. For it to go over 301, you need extremely strong days. So again, China reopening, K-Web calls. Do you trust China? Do you trust things? China just said that their CPI came in at 1% versus their estimate of 1.8%. So that tells me China out. You no longer don't have to wear masks in China. They reopened Macau. China's reopening. So yeah, I mean, China. Again, I mentioned one trade I would look at. I wouldn't look at K-Web. I mentioned when I first signed on that there were block trades on PDD. So I would do the analysis on PDD. I would jump on our Discord below, which is probably linked. I would look up the flow sum of PDD. I would look up the algorithm, the algo flow, and I would look up the net flow. And then I would look at unusual activity and golden sweeps and see if I can find any more PDD information. But I would do this all pre-market. And if I was bullish on PDD, then I'm saying, okay, I'm not jumping in at open. I want to see where the low is, where the support is from PDD yesterday. Okay, what was the low from yesterday? And I would say plus or minus, 10 or 20 cents. That would be a good entry for me. Yeah, so I like Rivian, but I don't think the company is stable. Yeah, I mean, again, I actually hate Rivian. I actually hate Coin, okay, as companies. I hate Lucid as a company. But again, we're not trading companies. We're not trading with emotion. We're trading the charts. We're trading the volume. We're trading the flows and algorithms. We're trading the net flow. Again, just because I think the market, or I'd say when I'm talking, I say I've been a bear for a month. I've been a bear for 6 weeks. It doesn't mean I think the market's going down today. In fact, yesterday, after that terrible day on Tuesday, I thought we were going to be green yesterday all around, and I was positioned for us being green yesterday, and it kind of caught me off guard that we didn't automatically flip. But I get it. Psychologically, it took till the end of the day to work out all the kinks, to use up all the supply for us actually to have some bullish momentum. So the same shit's going to happen today. It's going to take a little time today before people are going to actually say, okay, that bullish momentum can continue. Because right now, if it was bull at open, people would be selling into the bullish market. So they're probably going to see some type of drop like this. And then we're going to see a quick recovery, kind of like we saw yesterday morning. Remember, we saw a quick V like that. And if anybody wants to be bullish, they could have got in extremely cheap right after market open. Okay. Burnt on Apple puts, but I got to the 24th, deciding to hold, average down, or cut. All right, Ken, exactly the same thing I told Josh before. If I was going to be playing puts, it wouldn't be puts on the top plays. Understand, institutions, hedge funds, other funds, holding companies, they're going to best in class. Best in class is always Apple. Best in class is always NVIDIA. So if I had to be puts on something, it wouldn't be Apple and NVIDIA. It would be shittier companies that don't have earnings or that missed revenue. It would be the fourth, fifth, sixth in class, not the first in class. So I don't have an answer for you there. Again, I saw Apple as being bullish yesterday morning. Pre-market, it was up 0.7%. It finished up 0.8% on the day. So it kind of held its own. Yes, it was probably wishy-washy during the day. But again, Apple to me showed support. And if I think the market could actually go up to the 401 level today at some point, then Apple's going to be up at 155. The Qs are going to be up. Let's just see where the Qs are right now. I mean, yeah, you can see, look, here's what's happened on the Qs in the last 30 minutes. Again, they don't make these moves because they're bullshit. They make their moves because there's going to be support. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, if I was in puts, anyway, let's go to the next one. Never mind, you answered my question on K-Web. Where are we subscribed to Discord? Again, Discord is, I'm sure someone could put it. Oh, here's a link, right? It's soc-platform.com. Again, when you join, you verify yourself, and then you join. You join for a month. You give it a try. I mean, all you have to do is trade with Romeo live one morning. Set aside 9:15 to 10:15, and I guarantee you're going to make the cost of our Discord right there. But I'll put the link down. What is it? soc-platform.com. Hopefully it comes up on the side. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Again, in my opinion, although I'm talking about the SPY and the Qs and such, it is a stock picker's market. So if I want to be bullish something, I'm going to get in best in class. If I want to be bearish something, I'm going to look for somebody that disappointed in earnings, that had bad guidance, that has bad forecasting, that has high debt, because as interest rates go up, the companies with higher debt have the bigger problems. Again, I mean, the Qs are breaking through right now. Let me just take a look and see what other trades are going on. Okay, the US dollar. It was at, I mean, it's going down here. You can see it, okay? You can see the US dollar. Let me bring up the 5-day, and you can tell me what you think. Again, we spit up there. Now it's holding here. We broke through a level. The 105.51 level was a rejection, usually a rejection level. But no, we broke through, but we didn't hold. When you break through and then you don't hold, that's a troubling sign. So let me just check out a couple other stocks. DraftKings went from negative this morning, just turned positive. So we'll see where that opens. Again, I'm going to hold that. NVIDIA's up. The SPY is up 0.25%. 400.06. And I mentioned if we break 400, we hold the $400.40. Where do I think we're going? 404. Now, could this be a pump and dump? It could be. That's why I don't enter at 930, 945. I take my time. I let things settle out. I'm either looking for the bottom if I'm getting in calls or the top if I'm getting in puts. Again, I thought yesterday was going to be green. I tend to be early, so maybe I was half day early. Maybe I was 3/4 day early. I'm going to ride my call options. That's it. I'm only in one position. I sold my Amazon. I sold my Rivian. Amazon's up pre-market. Rivian's back to even pre-market. I mean, I'm going to be really pissed. Amazon's at $94.20. I had the $94 calls, and I figured here was my strategy yesterday. I was going to sell on open, which I did, and I was going to buy back 50% cheaper. So I sold Amazon for like 110. Amazon went to 57. I didn't buy it back. It was 50% cheaper. That was one of my plans. Rivian, I sold it like 35 on open. It went down to 20. Did I buy it back 46% cheaper? No, and I'm disappointed. When you have a great strategy, great game plan, I'm going to do this at open. I'm going to buy it back 50% cheaper. So if I had 29 contracts, I'd have 58. If I had 5 Amazon contracts, I would have 10 Amazon contracts. That way, same amount of money. I'm not investing anymore. I just buy it back and buy it back cheaper. Sell it open, buy it back cheaper. But I didn't follow my strategy. That was my strategy. Instead, what did I do? I got involved with some other shit. I got sidelines, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me look at this. Oh, this looks like a good trade. Let me play this. And yeah, it was a good trade. I have 3 out of my 5 trades yesterday were profitable. However, by doing nothing, by just holding my Amazon, letting it go down and up, whatever, by holding my Rivian, letting it go down and up, and just holding, knowing that I expire on Friday and that these had bullish signals. The reason I got into calls for Amazon and Rivian is because they had bullish signals to me. I was looking for Rivian to go to 15.18. It went there. When it goes there, I'm going to hold on to it longer. I'm going to see if it goes to 15.45. Why? Because then my calls will be worth a shitload more. Same with Amazon. I thought Amazon was going to do 98. Just because it went down first made me nervous. I thought yesterday, let me get out and then get back in. Didn't follow my strategy. Great strategy. Didn't follow it. So please, when you have a strategy, I'm going to get into, let's mention people that had Apple puts. You got to have puts for a reason. You thought the whole market was going down. So if you thought the whole market was going down, SPY puts were more likely. SPX puts more likely than Apple puts. Again, Apple has stronger support and is leading the market. Same with NVIDIA. I wouldn't go against NVIDIA. I would look for a cheaper piece of shit company that has terrible earnings and terrible guidance. All right, with that said, got to head out. I went to Discord, shoot a quick video mentioning 2 specific plays I'm looking at today. Hopefully you guys join me on Discord. See you later. Thanks, Carlos.